Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this lovely Thursday afternoon for Your Key to Career Growth, Accelerating Professional Development, where you'll learn about crediting your professional experience to fast-track a UK bachelor's or master's degree with SISFU. We have with us special guest speakers, Andre Estanislao and Honorable Lauren Lagarda. And to get things started off, we have a few ground rules we'd like to cover. So during this event, only the speakers will be able to use their microphone. We do that to keep things nice and orderly. As you enter the webinar, all of the participants will be muted. Now, the public chat box, we will be opening that to participants during the Q&A segment at the end. So if you do have any questions that pop into your mind during the event, please take note of them in the meantime so that you can add them into our lively Q&A segment at the end. When you are asking your questions in the Q&A segment at the end, we ask for you to use a particular format, which is that you state your name, your organization, and then your question. All right, let's keep going.
Your Key to Career Growth, Accelerating Professional Development with SISFU and Southville Flex Global Campus. Lifelong learning is critical for success in today's global economy. Learn more about the Southville Accelerate program and the SISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management's upcoming launch.
The CHED is really putting emphasis on lifelong learning. I myself is, a product of that. And it gives us, a chance to learn at any age. It doesn't limit us access to education, to continue to develop our skills and our competencies. And it gives us more opportunities, gives us fallback. And I guess it's really being education being true to its purpose, that no one gets left behind.
Featuring Deputy Speaker Lauren Lagarda on the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century, and Mr. Andre Peter C. Estanislao, Deputy Quality Management Representative and Special Assistant of the Undersecretary for Administration in the Department of Foreign Affairs, on the value of lifelong learning.
Now, please all join us for the SISFU invocation.
The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green. He leads me by the still waters. His goodness restores my soul.
He guides my way in righteousness, and He anoints my head with oil, and my cup it overflows with joy. I feast on His pure delight.
And now the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang lang, duyan ka ng magiting sa manlulupig. Di ka pasisiil sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhati't pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, everyone. Now, just as a reminder for our event guidelines, again, only the speakers will be able to use their microphones during the event, and all participants will be muted upon entry. Please do submit your questions into the public chat box during the Q&A segment at the end of the event. Questions will only be entertained at that time. Let's keep going. So here's today's event agenda. We'll start with welcome remarks, and then the introduction of our keynote speaker, Mr. Andrei Stanislaw, with his keynote address. Then the introduction of CISFU's new continuing professional development programs with Mr. Roger Bartholomew, covering the CISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management, and then the CISFU Accelerate program, followed by a fun little quiz with cash prizes, and then a discussion of what it is that CISFU offers as a whole, as an organization. Finally, we'll feature Deputy Speaker Lauren Lagarda and her talk on the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century landscape, and then our Q&A session to close today. All right, let's kick things off. You've all seen me, you've all heard me. Who am I though? Well, I am Daniel Steele. I'm the Director of Communications here at Southville, and I've been a lecturer at CISFU for the past several years. I've got 12 years of experience across varied industries in many different roles, and I'm actually a CISFU alumnus myself, having received my international MBA from Buckinghamshire New University through CISFU. So I can speak about its quality from experience. We're also featuring Mr. Roger Bartholomew. He's the President of International Education Specialists and the Director of Southville International School affiliated with foreign universities, CISFU. He served on the board of 7 different organizations, specializing in education, B2B education, and has also served as a consultant for the British Council and as a warden for the British Embassy. Next up, we have our special guest speakers, Mr. Andrei Peter C. Stanislaw, the Deputy Quality Management Representative of the Department of Foreign Affairs. He entered the Foreign Service in 2010 and is the Special Assistant to the Undersecretary for Administration, and concurrently, as I mentioned, the Deputy Quality Management Representative, the second highest ranking officer of the quality management system of the Department of Foreign Affairs. He served in the Philippines, France, China, and the United States. And finally, Deputy Speaker Honorable Lauren Lagarda of the Philippine House of Representatives. She currently serves as the House of Representatives representing the district in the province of Antique. She was a 3-term member of the Philippine Senate, where she chaired the committees on finance, foreign relations, and climate change, among many others. She's authored many laws aimed at improving the lives of Filipinos and promoting inclusive, sustainable, and resilient development. To get things started today, I'd like to first welcome the President of CISFU, Dr. Melva M. Diamante, to provide her welcome remarks. Hi, Doc.
Thanks, Daniel. Honorable Lauren Lagarda, Deputy Speaker, Philippine House of Representatives, Mr. Andrei Peter Stanislaw, Deputy Quality Management Representative from the Department of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Roger Bartholomew, President of InterEd Specialists, Dr. Genevieve Ledesma-Tan, Chief Executive Mentor, Southville Global Education Network, SGen family, guests, good afternoon. Welcome to CISFU's program, Your Key to to career growth, accelerating professional growth. Everyone here today understands that organizations and people cannot afford to stand still. The world is quickly changing around us, and it is imperative that we learn and adapt. Organizations, large and small, aim to compete effectively and grow by providing their managers and employees with opportunities to learn and grow. Change, which is the only permanent thing today, can be that very positive opportunity for us to provide personal learning and growth. Organizations and astute individuals must learn to ride the waves or drown in the storm of uncertainty, so they say. We are immensely honored to have two distinguished keynote speakers who were introduced to us by Daniel Steele. It's Mr. Andre Stanislao from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Congresswoman Lauren Legarda, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Today, we will explore the value of lifelong education and the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century. We will introduce to you two of CISFU's leading new programs. The first is Southville Accelerate program. Yes, we will accelerate and fast track the completion of a UK diploma or a bachelor's degree or an MBA by giving credits, college credits, to one's past work or professional experience and other learning experiences. The second good news for us is the CISFU Center of Executive Leadership and Management, which offers learning opportunities to all employment levels in an organization. Examples of these are professional development courses for managers, management development modules to upskill in key emerging competencies, training modules on workplace skills for your employees, and certificate courses are provided by our UK partners and US training organizations. That's why this afternoon is very exciting for us. Together, we can overcome the uncertainties that have plagued organizations around the world for the past 18 months of pandemics and find equilibrium. We can find a path forward through learning and building organizational and personal capacities through accelerated and continuous development. So I welcome you once again. CISFU thanks you for joining us today. Enjoy the afternoon, enjoy the program. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diamante, for those welcome remarks. And now to get us started, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. Mr. Andre Peter C. Stanislao entered the Foreign Service in 2010, having passed the rigorous Foreign Service Officers exam. He is the Special Assistant for the Undersecretary for Administration and, as I mentioned, concurrently the Deputy Quality Management Representative, the second highest ranking officer of the Quality Management Systems of the Department of Foreign Affairs. He graduated summa cum laude with an honors degree in classical studies, highest honors and French high honors from Middlebury College in Vermont. He also studied in La Nouvelle Sorbonne in Paris, France, in Deaconess College in Athens, Greece, and the Lester B. Pearson College of the Pacific in British Columbia, Canada, where he received his International Baccalaureate diploma. Prior to entering the Foreign Service, Mr. Stanislao was the IB Diploma Coordinator at Southville International School and Colleges. He also served as English and Social Education Instructor in Onomichi, Fukushima, Japan. In 2010, he then joined the Department of Foreign Affairs and served as Principal Assistant for the Office of the Secretary under former Secretaries of Foreign Affairs, Alberto G. Romolo and Albert F. Del Rosario, and was appointed concurrent director for the Passport and Consular Records Division and head of the Administrative Services Unit of the 300-plus strong personnel of the Department's Office of Consular Affairs. Abroad, Mr. Estanislao was first posted as third secretary and vice consul in the Philippine Embassy in Paris, then as vice consul in the Philippine Consulate General in Shanghai of the People's Republic of China. He was consul in the Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco, United States of America, before being recalled back to the office for the office of the Undersecretary for Administration. Mr. Estanislao was conferred the Presidential Gawad Mabini Award with the ranking of Dakilang Kasugo, my apologies if I'm butchering that, one of the highest honors conferred on foreign service personnel and members of the diplomatic corps in 2012 by former President Benigno Aquino III for his outstanding contribution to the digitization and management of the Department of Foreign Affairs consular records. Mr. Estanislao is a certified Lemil body pump and body attack group fitness instructor and is a strong advocate for LGBTQIA issues and the promotion of awareness campaigns for mental health issues. Thank you very much, Mr. Estanislao, for taking the time to join us today. And let's go ahead and take it away.
The Honorable Lauren B. Legarda, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Genevieve Ledesma-Tan, Chief Executive Mentor, Southville Global Education Network, Dr. Melva M. Diamante, President, Southville International School affiliated with foreign universities, Dr. Jocelyn P. Tizon, President, Southville International School and Colleges, Dr. Marjorie S. Gutierrez Tangog, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Southville Global Education Network, Dr. Nancy Digia, Dean of Academics, Southville International School affiliated with foreign universities, and Dean of the Southville Institute of Tourism, Dr. Roger D.A. Bartholomew, President of International Education Specialists and Director, Southville International School affiliated with foreign universities, distinguished friends, colleagues, partners in industry, and in the academe, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I wish to thank all of you for this invitation to speak on the value of lifelong learning and recognition of prior learning. I believe that these concepts were present almost 2 millennia ago, but were termed somewhat differently. The ancient Greeks, the wisest of the wise, I would opine, called them episteme and techne, loosely translated as knowledge and art or craft, respectively. In the Republic, Plato argues that the pursuit of episteme and techne throughout one's life until death is central to explicating central themes such as virtue, ruling, and the creation of the cosmos. Simply put, lifelong learning is imperative to values formation, success, visionary leadership, and, though a bit controversial, the explanation of the cosmos. Though metaphysical, complex, and transcendental, there is still much wisdom in the thoughts of our intellectual ancestors. If you would allow me to put my lamp on top of the table, I graduated summa cum laude with highest honors in classical studies and French in Middlebury College, one of the top liberal arts colleges in the United States. But this lamp, which I used to always proudly shine to everyone, was once shattered into a million humiliating pieces in my first foray in international education. I graduated valedictorian and received many scholastic awards in high school in the Philippines. Naturally, when I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship to attend an international school in Canada, to join the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, which Southville also offers, armed with the light of academic hubris from my high school, I knew that I would do well. We had our first essay writing assignment in English A class. I wrote the literary commentary with a fervent fire in my heart, assured that I would get a grade eponymous to my subject, an A. When Miss Dombrowski, our teacher, finally marked and returned these essays, she asked the class, "Who is Mr. Andre Stanislao?" holding my paper in her hand. I was glowing because I was confident that she would cite my paper as a model for the class. She then said, "This is how not to write a paper," and proceeded to dissect and destroy my convoluted and unstructured paragraphs and sentences. Just like that, she blew out the light in my lamp. Perhaps if I let the darkness consume me, I would not be where I am right now. Instead, I learned. I learned how to read more critically. I learned to write sentences whose meanings were as clear as the waters of a virgin lake. I learned to listen to criticism and apply them to my work. Slowly, from a tiny spark, my light came to blaze brightly again. At the end of my 2 years in that school, I received full marks in my IB diploma. From time to time, my light dims, but through the continuous improvement of myself through learning, I make sure that my light would never go out again. A similar metaphor may be found in neuroscience. Patricia Simone and Melinda Squili of Santa Clara University, in their academic article in Scholar Commons entitled Cognitive Benefits of Participation in Lifelong Learning Institutes, provide an interesting view on aging. They affirm that science and medicine's objectives have shifted from living longer to living longer well. Though describing the damages and consequences to the brain due to aging, quote, including loss of brain weight through neuronal loss and the accumulation of plaques and tangles, end quote, Simon and Squili still affirmed what numerous researchers have concluded. The reduction of cognitive decline includes involvement in a complex and intellectually stimulating environment. Conversely, limited cognitive engagement can result in increased cognitive decline. In other words, it is in lifelong learning, academic or otherwise, that contribute the most to living longer well. However, what is most interesting and unique in this study, I think, is that an increase in cognitive function is most pronounced and observed in lifelong learning institutes, or LLIs, academic institutions which offer education from early childhood to senior adults and everyone in between, college students, postgraduate students, the working professional. Though the Philippines has schools that brand themselves as LLIs, I believe that these do not conform to the academic and professional criteria that define LLIs. They do not seem to offer programs that provide the necessary skills and competencies for all age groups and professional statuses. As the Philippines improves its education system, we must be honest with ourselves and admit that there still exists a chasm between what is required in the professional world and the academic content and scholastic rigor being taught in our schools. This dearth of LLIs thus contributes to the widening of this gap. If we transpose this to the global stage, this disconnect between what the Philippine educational system offers and the demand and requirements of international higher learning institutions and professional industries become even more apparent. Point in case, the International Labor Organization, or ILO, of which the Philippines is an active member, recognized that, quote, due to a lack of appropriate qualifications, a large proportion of people face severe disadvantage in getting decent jobs, migrating to other regions, and accessing further education, even though they might have the necessary knowledge and skills, end quote. Thus, the ILO, along with other international organizations such as the United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, the World Bank, and the European Union, all advocate for the recognition of prior learning in addressing these challenges and to bridge the gap between education and industry. Recognition of prior learning is a process used to identify, assess, and certify a person's knowledge, skills, and competencies, regardless of how, when, or where the learning occurred, all against prescribed standards for a part, modular, or full qualification. The RPL process can help such persons acquire formal qualification that matches their knowledge and skills, and thus contribute to improving employability, mobility, lifelong learning, social inclusion, and even self-esteem. International labor standards and international labor conferences, ILC, have emphasized the importance of RPL and recommend establishing the systems for RPL. This relevant implementation of RPL policies and programs has taken root and is now widely accepted in a considerable number of countries, including those in the ASEAN, the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and even some member states of the African Union. In fact, in the college class Professional Development and Applied Ethics, which I teach at the Southville Institute of Tourism, we have discussed the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Agreement and tourism professionals, to which the RPL process is crucial. Even in fields such as tourism, credentials not only through the classroom setting, but also through specialized programs offered by LLIs become even more significant. I am proud to be part of the Southville Global Education Network, or SGEN, which, through Southville International School affiliated with foreign universities, or SISFU, has blazed a trail once again in transnational education by becoming a pioneer lifelong learning institution in the Philippines that offers short courses and degree programs for all. Today's launch of the SISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management and the Southville Accelerate program are significant contributions, which I am confident will provide more opportunities for Filipinos and even other nationals to accelerate their professional development through these added credentials. Further, SISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management and the Southville Accelerate program are testament to SGEN's commitment to nation building by pioneering programs in support of the Philippines' fledgling policies on recognition of prior learning. Armed with credentials well recognized abroad, participants of all backgrounds, ages, and in different stages of their professional careers may confidently go out into the world and put their lamps shining brightly on the table of the global stage. May I therefore recommend to all of you who are present today, albeit virtually, especially those who have work experience, to be part of this excellent opportunity to widen your professional horizons. Enroll in the SISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management and the Southville Accelerate program. The courses from these programs, aside from the inherent value learned from them, may be credited toward a college degree or even an MBA from distinguished universities in the United Kingdom, such as Pearson College London, the Magna Carta College, and Buckinghamshire New University. Once again, I thank SISFU for the opportunity to speak to all of you today. I likewise congratulate everyone in today's event, and I myself look forward to participating in these pioneer programs, all in the name of lifelong learning. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Stanislaw, for that wonderful, wonderful message. As a thank you, Southville International School, affiliated with foreign universities, proudly presents this plaque of appreciation to Mr. Andre Peter C. Stanislaw for taking the time to share your inspiring and invaluable knowledge and expertise as our keynote speaker during this launch event for Your Key to Career Growth, Accelerating Professional Development, given this 30th day of September 2021 in Sisu, Las Piñas City. Of course, we're doing this all virtually, but there will be a plaque and it will be delivered. Signed, President Melva M. Diamante. Thank you so much, Andre Stanislaw, for being our keynote speaker. Thank you very much. All right. Up next, we will introduce these new programs that Andre touched on, starting with the Sisu Center for Executive Leadership and Management. To kick things off there for us, we will have Mr. Roger Bartholomew take the lead. Roger, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I'm not going to go through the list again, because Mr. Andre Stanislaw, he and I used to work together, did such a great job introducing all the top people and the VIPs and listing all those people with doctorates, that I am not going to go through that again. But what I would like to do is welcome the more than 200 people who are here this afternoon and talk about the accelerated programs and some of the fairly new ideas in education that Southville is pioneering. I'm the chairman, or I was the chairman and founder of SISFU, going back quite a few years now, 1997. And SISFU has developed through interesting times in a very rapidly changing business environment. It's been our aim all the way through to ensure that our students are equipped for a global business environment in terms of not just current practice, but also having a clear understanding of what's coming next. For this purpose, the SISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management was established to provide a forum for executives, managers, and leaders to exchange ideas and to deliver programs tailored to the needs of those needing credentials or specific knowledge relevant for these positions. One of the expressions used today in today's academic and training environment is micro-credentials. Not microwaves, micro-credentials. This refers to awards given for courses ranging from a few hours to a few weeks, which have been specifically designed to upskill today's workforce in key emerging areas. Many of these courses have been provided to SISFU for delivery by universities and institutions from the US and the UK, with more than 130 professional and soft skill one-day courses from the US and 8 graduate certificate programs from the UK. Now, the US professional development courses are offered in a range of areas, including career and personnel development, human resources, sales and marketing, supervision and management of working from home staff, and managing a working from home business environment. This is something that nobody had really heard of 5 years ago and became a very big area over the last 18 months. Each of the courses cater to post-pandemic business models and can be delivered with great flexibility for both individuals and companies or corporations. And this screen gives you an idea of the range of what is available. The UK graduate certificate programs have more content and typically take 6 to 8 weeks to complete using both synchronous and asynchronous approaches. Now, I'm just going to do a sidebar here and explain those two words. Synchronous means that everybody is in class at the same time with an online instructor. Asynchronous means you can learn and do the exercises, the reading and the other things within your own time frame. And we use both approaches because we have students from all over the world and different time zones. So most of our programs have both approaches. As well as being standalone credentials, the UK certificates can be combined and can make up an extended diploma if all 8 of the modules are completed from Pearson. Pearson, by the way, are the world's largest awarder of academic and professional qualifications. Or it can even lead to an MBA from Buckinghamshire New University. And I want you to note here the British humour. Buckinghamshire New University was founded in 1892 and is still referred to as a new university because others like Oxford go all the way back to 1107. Or De Montfort University, which we work closely with, which is located in Leicester in England. Now, that's a lot to take in. And one of the best ways of finding out how well a program works is listening to people who have been involved with them and taken them. So I think we're going to listen to a couple of our students now talk about their experience.
The help for Pearson with me was I gained a lot of my fundamental knowledge throughout business, especially now since I work with a multinational company. A lot of what I use now, I learned when I was taking Pearson.
It was a good decision and a good investment for me. Even if it was challenging, it really helped me a lot. In the span of 4 years in my career, I was able to go up the ladder quickly than what you would regularly expect.
Having my MBA here, so I'm a student, I have as a student, it gives me a lot of knowledge towards my terms of strategy, in terms of business decision, in terms of my personal growth, the financial aspect, from the vision, the values, everything.
The Pearson BTEC Level 7 Extended Diploma in Strategic Management and Leadership has been an incredible tool towards getting my MBA and in my career, giving me the skills that I need to succeed.
I'm just so thankful that, the higher education is really, the Commission on Higher Education together with, the schools are really pushing for, adult lifelong learning. And, as long as I believe the education sector will continue on with their mission, I think we will only expect innovations from their sector to make sure that, number one, demands are met and that every student, no matter what age, will receive, an optimal learning experience and quality education.
Fantastic. So those are some of the students, and you probably would have noticed a very young-looking Mr. Daniel Steele in one of those testimonials, and you can see what's happened to him after 2 years working at Southville. So
makes me feel old.
yes, experience is counts a lot. So the Southville Centre for Executive Leadership and Management has actually created the perfect convergence: technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge, sometimes known as TPAC, through the combination of critical micro-credential courses, program delivery, and international brand-named courses for corporations and individuals. And yet, I've kept the best until last. Time and cost is vitally important in today's world. So SISFU, in cooperation with our international partners, which as you've seen are Pearson, De Montfort University from Leicester, England, Buckinghamshire New University, which is just on the edge of London in High Wycombe, and we also have partners in Australia and in the USA, created SAP, which is the Southville Accelerated Program. If your aim, and for many people this is their aim, is to move ahead in the corporate environment, excuse me, and do it as quickly as possible, or to gain just the specific knowledge you need while attaining a credential that's recognized worldwide, SAP is exactly what you need. Southville will assess whatever academic records you hold and your work experience and apply the maximum credit transfer possible for whatever award is your goal, be it diploma, degree, or master's. The process is simple and straightforward, and you will quickly be notified what you need to take to complete your award. Let's listen to one more person talking about their experience with Southville.
The Southville Accelerate program at SISFU is a way to accelerate your UK diploma or degree by using your professional and life experience and evidence of earlier learning and achievements towards a qualification. This way, you don't need to repeat a course or complete assessments in areas where you already have the knowledge, understanding, and skills you need. To get started, you'll need to provide evidence that is valid, current, reliable, authentic, and sufficient. Evidence like your transcript of records, descriptions of relevant subjects or courses taken, volunteer work, informal education or learning, work experience records, home life, and your CV or resume with specific tasks performed. Since current knowledge, understanding, and skills will vary from sector to sector, the extent of experience, technological changes, and the nature of the outcome claimed is subject to the evidence provided. Past experience may vary between industries. Thus, the achievement may show evidence of current knowledge, understanding, and skills from your industry. When necessary, the assessor may use questions to check understanding and validate competency. The assessor gives you feedback and the decision on the recognition of prior learning process after the evidence has been verified. This gives the learner options on the next steps to take. Pearson UK may require you to provide more evidence or complete the standard assessment requirements if you want to achieve the qualification. SISFU claims the certificate once quality assurance processes have been completed. The Southville Accelerate program at SISFU is your gateway to a UK degree, faster and easier than you ever thought possible.
That really is quite inspiring and very, very helpful for anybody who is looking to accelerate their career in business. And the responsiveness of SISFU's Centre for, I'm trying to put this in a nice, simple and straightforward way, but in today's world we have a changing calendar. And we were always brought up as kids knowing what BCAD means. But today it means before COVID and after Delta. So the whole calendar has changed. And as such, industry needs have changed. So Southville Centre for Leadership and Executive Management has striven to meet the challenge of those changing needs in industry by providing specific knowledge education through micro-credentials, while still retaining the possibility of the major awards, such as higher national certificates high national diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and MBAs without losing the quality focus on TPAC, technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge, and using the Southfield Acceleration Program to save time and money is an opportunity that cannot be missed. Excited? You should be. Joining our Knowledge Forum today will be the best possible preparation for the post-pandemic world. Thank you for listening. Now I'm going to spring a surprise on you. When I joined Southfield, I found out that we had an academic who was in charge of assessment. Her name was Dr. Marge Tangog. So, as that's something that Southfield does, we do assessment. Guess what? Doc Marge is going to assess how well you've been listening today, and she is going to bring a quiz to our screens with some very nice prizes. So I'm going to pass this over now to Doc Marge for her quiz. Doc Marge, all yours.
Thank you, Mr. B. Thank you so much. That was a very informative session we had with we call him Mr. B, yeah. And the wife, we call her Mrs. B. And thank you, Daniel, too. As mentioned by Mr. B, we shall have an amazing session, 10 minutes only or even less, just to check what you recall, what you remember. I think some items, one item would be coming from Doc Melvas during the welcome part, mentioned by Andre, Mr. Estanislao, and of course, Mr. B. Let's see. Only 6 items, guys. Are we ready, Mika? Are we ready, everyone? Let's see. We have here, oh, where's my presentation slide first, Miss Mika, before the quizzes? Yes, we'll have a short quiz via quizzes, and we have exciting prizes. All right, there. Thank you for the mechanics. For all of us here in the Zoom, please only register one account for one participating individual or one who's with us right now. And when you register, no code names, please, no cute names, no Digong, whatever, or BBM, your first name and last name. Why? Because should you win, that's how we could track you, all right? There will be a total of 6 questions. And for each item, each question will be 20 seconds for you to think and fire away and choose the option, the right answer. There will be 3 winners at the end of the game. Should there be a tie, our Vice President for Account Support and Marketing would have budget there for prizes in case we have a tie. So don't worry, just think, recall things quickly, retrieve it from your memory bank, and fire away. Our keyboard warriors, are we ready? Okay, the first prize, by the way, is 1,500. Our second prize is 1,000. And third prize is at 500. Okay, please now log in to joinmyquiz.com. It's on the chat box, the link and the code. Oh, okay. There you go. So please log on to joinmyquiz.com, and the code is, guys, 322313. All right. Again, please join myquiz.com, log in there, and the code is 322313. I see already Francis, Jacob, I saw Yana earlier, Neil, Kenji, Tram. All right. I see Marens, Gianna. We have Ricardo Yabut III. We have one Rafael. Go, 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 guys. How many do we have now? How many are registering, Miss Mika? We have Judivine. Okay, says, I may mispronounce your name, apologies. Gabrielle. Okay, Robert, John Blaze, Cedric, Clarence. Okay, this one is a battle of who remembers the most and who would have the quickest fingers. So keyboard warriors, are we ready? We have Andy, we have John William, Okay, we have Maureen Francis Joseph. Paul. All right. Arlene May. Go, go, go. How many now, Mika? How many have registered? Lorraine. Clark. 70 and counting, according to Sir Nico. Hallie. Camille. Joshua Nathaniel. Camille Sullivan. There. Ernest. Okay, last 2 minutes. Okay. Go, 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 guys. Come on, come on. If not for the prizes, at least wear that you're very proud to have gotten the perfect score with the short quiz given by Marge today. Marge and Mika, actually the two of us. All right. Okay, put this together. Ginger. Okay, ready? Last 1 minute. And ready. How many now, Nico? How many do we have? Do we have around 80 now? I think 94. Okay, guys. 6 more. We have 100. Taking it? Okay. When it's 100 already, Miss Mika, we could already start with question number 1. Okay, Nico, how many do we have? 102. We're starting. Ready, ready. Question number 1. All right. Whoever's the fastest, wow, accuracy, 71%. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's see. Karen seems to be leading. Now go, 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 guys. We're going to questions. With camera seems to be leading. Hi, Sam. Hi, now. At 45% accuracy. Now we ready to share the items. I think you already have winners. Okay, maybe we have the winners now? Or we're still, how many are still answering? We're going to end in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. All right, let's see our winners. Who are our winners, Miss Mika? I saw 3 names there. Okay, hang on. Okay, Miss Mika, could you flash the items? Okay. Oh, we have technical glitch. All right. We'll just read first the items. Oh, there. Okay, just anyway. Okay, for the top 3. The top 3 with 100% accuracy. Wow, we have 4. 4 with 100% accuracy. All right, we have Tram. The score is 5170. We have Yellen Milka at 5060 score. we have Robert J. Lopez at 4,930. Top 4 is Kirsten Parinas with a score of 4,490. And Quins Camera at 4,410. Wow, those are your top 5 scorers. And the top 3 winners are Tram Panaligan, Yellen Milka, and Robert J. Lopez. Congratulations. May we have the items? There. What does SCELM stand for? The correct answer is CISFU Center for Executive Leadership and Management. Okay, next please. Our UK graduate certificates come from Pearson. All right, next we have the Southville Acceleration Program. Which of the following is not part of the application process? It's the essay, although Mr. Estanislao shared the pivotal experience of his essay writing back in the IB. That is not a requirement in our SAP or Southville Acceleration Program. Okay. Next, number 4, true or false, is CISFU the pioneer in transnational education and of the Philippines? Yes, CISFU is. Okay, so that's true. Another partner of CISFU in UK is Du Montfort University, and the undergraduate college honors program in business would be offered by this university, and it is in Leicester, UK. That was mentioned by Mr. B. Okay, next please. How many CPD short courses does CISFU have? We have 130 plus CPD courses to choose from. Congratulations to the winners and all those who participated. Thank you very much. Daniel, take it away, you're next.
All right, thank you so much, Doc March. Thank you to everyone for participating in that fun little quiz. Our top 3 winners will be contacted via email to claim their cash prize. Again, the top number 1 winner receives 1,500, second place receives 1,000, and third place receives 500. Congratulations again to our winners. You were very fast and very accurate. Nicely done. All right, now to continue today's talk, I just want to talk a little bit about what CISFU is. So Mr. B mentioned CISFU was founded back in the late 90s with a fundamental realization, which is that globalization and the internationalization of education was going to shape education going forward, right? The world was changing even then. And I know now we look back on it and we think, gosh, we had no idea, right? Who knew back in the late 90s the world we live in today? But CISFU was remarkably prescient in its founding. It is the first and still the only transnational higher education provider in the Philippines offering undergraduate higher education at a transnational level, and also offering graduate and even senior high school degree programs. We run the gamut in terms of education. We have partnered with UK institutions to deliver their curricula, their certifications, and their degree programs here in the Philippines and actually around the world. We offer everything from, as I mentioned, senior high school, culinary programs, business programs, hospitality, MBA, online blended learning programs, and then now these continuing education and professional development programs. So talking about our programs, we have 2 partners. Those are De Montfort University in Leicester, UK, and Pearson. Those are our 2 principal partners. Let's keep going. So first I want to mention some of our business programs under the School of Business Management. Let's keep going. So talking about our partner, De Montfort University, it is an award-winning institution. In fact, it is awarded pretty much every single year by the Times Higher Education or by the Sunday Times Good University Guide. Pretty much every single year, it's being awarded multiple different awards, whether it's for inclusion, being in the top 50 for worldwide impact, being named in the top young universities worldwide, being awarded gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework, where Oxford and Cambridge only received silver. DMU is an absolutely leading institution. Next slide, please. So with De Montfort University, we offer 3 undergraduate programs. These are Business Administration and Management, Accounting and Business Management, and Business Entrepreneurship and Innovation. All of these are honors degree programs, and all of them are 3-year degree programs. Now, the nice thing about a Business Administration and Management degree through De Montfort University is that it is very, very career focused, meaning what? Well, for one thing, you don't have to take any general education subjects. You don't have any minor subjects. You're not taking history. You're not taking social studies. You're not taking biology. You're not taking physical education. You're not taking Filipino. You are taking only business subjects from day one until the time you graduate. Every course you take is relevant to your career. And the nice thing about De Montfort University is because it is a UK school and you're graduating with a UK degree, there are global opportunities available for you. Literally, these degrees are a passport to go anywhere in the world. Next slide, please. Here's a couple more nice facets about De Montfort University. So it has been named an associate member of the United Nations Department of Public Information because it is so committed to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and is the #1 university in the UK for student experience. Next slide. The second program I'd like to mention is our Accounting and Business Management program. This is a hybrid degree program, so it has facets of both UK accounting and business management. One of the nice things about this program is because it's not focused on only one, you get a much broader view than a pure specialist would. So someone graduating from this degree program is going to be much better prepared to step into, let's say, a management or even a senior management role than someone who was more specialized. Now, that isn't to say that you don't earn specialist qualifications here. You absolutely do through ACCA or CIMA. What are those? Go to the next slide, please. ACCA and CIMA are the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants or the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. These are 2 of the world's largest accounting bodies. In fact, ACCA is the world's largest accounting body with over 100,000 members working in over 180 countries around the world, including in the Philippines. So graduates of these programs have the opportunity to accelerate their path to receive their qualifications with ACCA or CIMA and become accounting practitioners. And they have, again, the opportunity to work essentially in any country, wherever they want around the world. The world is your oyster. Next slide, please. And then we have our Entrepreneurship and Innovation program, again, through DMU. DMU is recognized for the quality of its entrepreneurship program and the commitment it offers in the innovation of this program itself. How does it do that? Well, in a lot of fun ways. First, by including startup business plan competitions like Shark Tank, for example, as well as offering year-long industry immersion as a part of the course. So you get to tackle real-life business challenges, and it really lets you dive deep. And this program, students, by the time they graduate with this program, most of the students in this program already are running their own businesses, right? Even before they've graduated, they're already started and are operating their own businesses. That's how much of a head start students get by undertaking this program. And the nice thing, again, about our DMU programs is all 3 of them are, again, 3-year undergraduate degree programs. So you finish faster, there are no minor subjects, you don't have to take any history, sciences, etc. Everything you take is directly relevant to your degree program and to your eventual career. Let's keep going. Next slide. Next slide. All right, moving on from De Montfort University. As I mentioned, we are also partnered with Pearson. Now with Pearson, we offer a variety of different programs. I'll go through those piece by piece. First up, I'd like to mention our Hospitality Management program. This is also a 3-year UK degree program. It has 3 terms per year for 2 years, which earns you what's called the Pearson Higher National Diploma. That is kind of sort of equivalent to a US Associate of Arts degree, kind of, except you then only have one final year to complete your undergraduate degree. And you can do that at pretty much any university of your choice. For example, the Swiss Hotel Management School. Let's keep going. One of the nicest facets of the hospitality management program, besides just the enormous industry demand for hospitality management graduates, is that students in these programs have the opportunity for paid internships abroad. Constantly, there is a need, and the demand is not just in the Philippines or in the US or in Australia, it's literally everywhere, every country, because every country has a tourist sector, has a hospitality sector, and has a need for these hospitality interns and then hospitality graduates. So students end up working anywhere from 900 to 1,000 hours of paid internship as a part of this undergraduate program. So they get a lot of real industry immersion, and that's paid experience at the same time. So what about COVID-19? You might think, oh, but isn't the hospitality industry struggling right now? Yeah, you're not wrong. Of course, the hospitality industry is struggling right now, but COVID is not going to be, the cloud over our heads forever. And while the industry is struggling currently, that has led to this really strong pent-up demand for hospitality, leisure, and tourism. So the recovery estimates project 20+% annual growth over the next 4 to 5 years. What does that mean? A heck of a lot of new jobs and demand, which means people who are considering starting a degree, by the time they graduate in just 3 years, there will still be far more jobs than there is supply available, which means higher pay and more opportunities in more countries. So what sets apart SISFU's hospitality program with Pearson from other hospitality programs? Well, again, one, it is a UK hospitality program, and you have the opportunity to finish the diploma program in 2 years, and then your degree in just 3 years total. And you get deep industry immersion with 1,000+ hours of paid international internships. Next slide, please. Moving on from hospitality, we also offer culinary here at Southwell. Now, our Culinary Institute offers a 6-month intensive program. That program is now also available online. So for those of you who are still stuck at home, can't head back to class anytime soon, you can actually take up our culinary program online and get that jump start on that culinary career that you've been putting off or dreaming of. In addition to that principal program of 6 months, which also includes a 4-month internship after you graduate, we also offer a 3-month certificate in restaurant entrepreneurship. All of these combined prepares you for the incredibly high demand for chefs. Chefs is one of qualified chefs is one of the most in-demand job areas worldwide because it's considered a skilled trade, and there's absolutely enormous unmet demand all around the world. If you are interested in working abroad, at this point, if you are interested in being a chef or a nurse, you're pretty much made. You're guaranteed a job in any country in the world at this point. There is so much demand, pent-up demand for chefs. Next slide, please. All right, moving on now, I'd like to talk about our online blended learning programs. Now, these are still with Pearson, as they were for the hospitality program. So what is our online blended learning program? Well, this is something that was actually designed several years ago. You might think, oh, it's another online program. No. We've had this since 2017, 2018. And this is a online UK diploma program built around the learner's needs, right? It's built to be flexible and convenient and designed for those who really aren't in a position to physically go to the school. This, again, was designed long before the pandemic, but wow, the pandemic made it really, really convenient for a lot more people. So how does this program work? Well, you spend your first 2 years studying with us at SISFU, And then you have the option to take your top-up year, so your third and final year of your UK degree program, anywhere in the world. So you can do it through us, through De Montfort University. You can do it through Buckinghamshire New University, or you can do it through any of 100 plus other universities around the world, whether they're in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United States, the UK, etc. There are literally hundreds of options available to you for where you decide to complete your degree. Now, as Roger mentioned, talking about Pearson, it is the world's leading learning company, and in fact, the largest awarding body in terms of the total number of qualifications offered. And it has a very learner-centric approach to learning. Keep going. So in terms of business programs through our online blended learning program, we have 5 specializations. These are accounting and finance, business management, entrepreneurship and small business management, human resource management, and marketing. Keep going. Just to give you an idea of what that course progression looks like, when students undertake our online blended learning program, the way these terms work is each term is 6 weeks, and during each term, you will usually take 2 classes. So over the course of that, you will end up taking about 2 years to complete all of these different subjects. And again, this is just a sample. This is not representative of every single one of those. Each of those specializations is going to have different course progressions in them. And again, all of these are designed to be asynchronous. You can take them anytime, anywhere. We have students studying these programs in the Philippines, of course, but also in the United States, in the UAE, in Japan, in South Korea. We have students all over the world studying these programs. That's how flexible they are. Keep going. Now, again, talking about our online blended learning, we're also now offering this in computing. So not just business, but also in computing, specifically in data analytics. Now, this might be a buzzword that some of you have heard, that maybe you are curious about, maybe you know all about it. What is data analytics? Well, data analytics is the absolute bleeding edge of where business and organizations are heading. It comes down to a mix of combining the sophisticated statistics and kind of algorithms and data mining that comes from the huge data sets that corporations and organizations worldwide are trying to juggle and understand at any given time, and the business need to turn that understanding into something actionable. Data analytics is how you take these enormous amounts of data and turn it into something actually usable by decision makers. And there's enormous unmet demand. I keep talking about demand over and over again. There's a reason for that. All of the programs that we offer are tailored to maximize your earning potential and maximize your career potential. So there's huge demand. Demand is global and compensation is very high. Let's keep going. So just to give you an idea, in 2018, so the World Economic Forum published predictions on the future workforce up through 2022. That's all of next year, right? Well, it identified that by 2022, 85% of companies will have adopted big data and analytics technologies, meaning 85% of companies will need data analysts. Next slide, please. That shift to big data results in a skill gap. They're talking about US companies, Indian companies, UK companies, but globally, the skills gap sits at about 55%. So that creates an enormous number of additional job opportunities. Keep going. And in terms of compensation, data analysts are exceptionally well compensated. Entry-level data analysts, as in fresh out of school, make roughly $70,000 US per year. In fact, that number can be substantially higher depending on where you choose to settle and what the cost of living is there. But as an average figure across the United States of America, the figure is $70,000 US, which is roughly 300,000 pesos per month. kind of speaks for itself, why you might consider a career in data analytics. Cloud computing is another one that is in enormous demand. So as they're saying, in response to the pandemic, which started in 2020, many companies have been forced to adopt cloud computing tools in their operations just to sustain them. For those of you who aren't aware, Amazon does not only sell goods, right, or provide services in the forms of like Kindle or Amazon Prime Video, for instance. Amazon is also responsible for about a third of the entire internet. They power the back end of websites. They power the back end of corporate information networks. So anyone who has a grasp of Amazon Web Services, of that technology of cloud computing, has a guaranteed high-paying career waiting for them. Keep going. And finally, cybersecurity. I'm sure all of you have seen the news reports. You've all heard about data breaches or identity theft or some new hack that's occurred that's caused all sorts of data to be leaked. Well, cybersecurity professionals are in demand today, and they're only going to be more in demand tomorrow, because every single company needs cybersecurity professionals to help keep them safe and keep their customers' data safe. So again, the demand and the pay for all three of these sorts of career paths, whether you are going into data analytics, cloud computing, or into cybersecurity, all huge global demand and very, very high starting pay and career progression opportunities. Here's a sample course list, just as I showed you for the business programs. This is a sample course list of what you would take to receive your higher national diploma in data analytics. And again, from there, you just have your top-up year to finish, and you can do that at universities in, again, the US, Australia, the UK, Canada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Their options are pretty much endless. Keep going. All right. Now, we've talked a lot about the UK MBA already, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. But I do want to mention that our UK MBA program is online. And I don't know if that was made clear to everyone before, but our UK MBA program is offered online. And it is very, very flexible. It is designed for working professionals. Now, some of you might think, well, I've heard that before, but then it ends up being 5 days a week or something like that. This is not that kind of a UK MBA. This UK MBA truly was, I took this UK MBA. So I know, and I was working the whole time. So I know it really was designed for working professionals. Okay, so even though you're busy, even though you're, a full-time professional, even if you have kids, this is still a program that you can pursue to get that UK master's degree. Now, as a part of our UK MBA, you actually earn two different credentials. So the first credential is what is called the Pearson Extended Diploma in Strategic Management and Leadership. Then you have what's called your top-up. I keep using the word top-up, but you have another top-up for your UK MBA. And we mentioned different partners that you could use for that, including Buckinghamshire University, which was my school, or you could do it at Anglia Ruskin University or any number of other universities. There are plenty of options available to finish your top-up for your UK MBA. Total time for this program is about 2 years. You can do it faster, but to keep a reasonable workload, if you're a working professional, it's going to be about 2 years from start to finish. This shows you the courses that you undertake. Note that one of those courses that you see listed there is only relevant for those who are not already business graduates themselves. And again, some of these courses, whether we're talking about the Pearson business courses, whether we're talking about the De Montfort University courses, whether we're talking about these MBA courses, you can use the CISU Accelerate program to basically say, nope, don't need to take that one. Nope, don't need to take that one. So it allows you to finish your degree faster and cheaper and easier. So that's what CISU Accelerate program has to offer. It just makes it easier, faster, and again, cheaper for you to actually finish your degree or your diploma or your continuing professional development. Next slide. So again, yes, you can complete your online degree with Anglia Ruskin or with Buckinghamshire New University or any number of other schools. Those are just our specific partners for it. Next slide, please. All right, so now you've heard all about CISL. You've spent enough time on that. Now I would like to move on to our final speaker for today, which is Congresswoman Lauren Legarda. She is again the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and she'll be speaking on the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century. Now, Deputy Speaker Legarda has a number of different awards that she's been honored with, and she has a short video to use as her introduction rather than just having me blather on. So let's go ahead and play that.
In 1998, I remember starting my political career as a freshman senator in the 11th Congress of the Philippines. I was ranked first, garnering over half the total votes, the youngest senator, and one of only 2 women senators that time. Perhaps a very green senator, but I wasn't hurled accidentally into the position. I certainly worked hard for it. I was anxious, at the same time very excited to do the work I believe I was born to do. And I've always been deeply motivated. I wanted to be a public servant leader who will strive to do relevant and meaningful work. And so even then, I've always been focused on certain issues that I'm passionate about. I was chairperson for committees on environment and economic affairs. Before I turned 40, I found myself being named as one of the global leaders for tomorrow in the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Then, the United Nations Environment Programme Award in Turin, Italy in 2001. All the while offering legislation benefiting women and children's rights, including the Anti-Domestic Violence Act, Anti-Child Labor Law, the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. I also sponsored into law the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act and most of the environmental laws. And by 2001, I was voted Senate Majority Floor Leader, the first and only woman to occupy such post. I continued my work as legislator and ran another term, and I was once again proclaimed #1 senator in the 2007 senatorial elections, garnering the most number of votes and holding the distinction of being the only woman senator to top the Senate race twice. More work, more laws, more advocacies. And in this 14th Congress, I was again chairperson of the following committees. But as the expression goes, there is no rest for the weary. For the next 12 years, I continued the work as senator in the 15th, 16th, and 17th Congresses of the Philippines, still advancing my passion and advocacies and chairing the committees on climate change, foreign relations, finance, and even cultural communities. I'm extremely proud of the tangible achievements that I've made as senator. But beyond the laws and the bills, I've managed to tirelessly work on my advocacies. In 2009, we passed into law the landmark Philippine Climate Change Act, of which I was principal author and sponsor. In June that same year, I delivered the keynote speech at the Forum on the Human Impact of Climate Change in Geneva, reiterating the need for a new brand of politics and governance to address the growing climate disaster risks. And there I introduced the Legarda Doctrine, a new development thinking and a more holistic development philosophy founded on sustainable and equitable socio-economic ecosystems and governance. By December of the same year, I also spoke on climate change legislation at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen, Denmark, calling on parliamentarians to initiate legislation to address climate change issues. I've also been a longtime advocate of preserving our national identity and culture and the ancestry of Indigenous peoples. I've been bestowed the following titles by various Indigenous peoples groups. I was also the prime architect and main driving force behind the country's return to the prestigious Venice Biennale, the Olympics of the contemporary art world, all after 51 years of absence. Amidst all these, I continue my work and dedication to public service. My cup overflows, and I'm equally humbled and overwhelmed. I'm immensely grateful to all those who have helped me through these years. I remember the faces of people who acknowledged me, trusted me, gave me full support. I will be forever thankful. But more than all the chairmanships that I have led, more than the laws and the bills that I have helped legislate, and even more important than the recognition, the accolades, and the awards, I am extremely proud of the people I've been able to help. The children, the women, the families and communities, the indigenous peoples, the farmers, fisher folks, the so-called last, least, and the lost. I am inspired by them. I am motivated, encouraged, and moved by them. And I continue to have them in my mind and in my heart as I proceed with my life work as public servant, leader. I am yours, humbly, Lauren Legarda.
All right. And now I'd like to welcome Deputy Speaker Lauren Legarda for her pre-recorded video message on the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century in the context of these broader societal issues that we're all confronting, things like climate change, the changing nature of the global economy. Deputy Speaker, please, let's go ahead and play.
My greetings to everyone who are gathered here today virtually. I thank the organizers for such a timely topic and for the invitation to speak before you. I have in my hands a speech that yet again paints a grim picture brought about by a changing climate. We resolved last year in the House of Representatives that we are in a climate emergency, and almost a year into that emergency, we have yet to see the sea change in legislation that supports our belief in that emergency. I can continue and tell you about crop failures, wildfires, extreme weather events, and the speed with which we will be seeing this, as elaborated on in the most recent report of the Nobel Prize-winning IPCC. But I will leave you to ponder these in written form, which I will distribute electronically to each one here. We have no time to lose. Every soul here, every warm body contributes to the local and national economy in different ways and scales. You choose your profession not just to earn a living and thrive in the economy, but to fulfill your purpose. It is crucial that we tackle the drivers of our vulnerability to disasters and climate change. Poor urban governance, vulnerable rural livelihoods, ecosystems decline. I would like to invite you to consider that to contemplate careers and advancement in a climate crisis and in a pandemic is like organizing your itinerary while you are on a train speeding to the end of the track. You cannot ignore the future and the challenges and changes that the context of your professional life will be lived in. Business as usual, counting on going back to normal, continuing on your destructive economic paths. These are destructive for our own society, and such situations, as you all know, require drastic intervention. The youth must be wise than earlier generations, if only because you are exposed to so much more information and can access a world of knowledge at your fingertips than generations in the past, but that also makes you more vulnerable. You would need to recognize your tendency to only look at things you want to believe in. This also tends to concentrate people into groups that believe the same things and echo each other's sentiments until they accept such beliefs as truths. And your best armor to both advance and thrive in a challenging climate and in a public health crisis is a curious and inquiring mind, fed often by reading. Do not get locked up in what is easy. The tweet, the TikTok video are merely doors that lead you to worlds of learning. You need to read entire books and learn how to make an argument through deep dives. I urge you to read the reports of the IPCC. Every inhabitant of this planet needs to know where it is going, how to manage those changes, and ensure some of those changes do not happen. Read the arbitral decision on the case on the South China Sea, our West Philippine Sea that your country won, that our country won in 2016. Let it sink in what our country or your country lost to a foreign power. So these are things we can ponder on and read. I leave you with one last thought that hopefully would make you a lot more discerning. I will not hesitate to tell you to keep an open mind. When you find a concept that you abhor, as long as you are armed with reason, logic, and a quest for truth, do not be afraid of confronting lies. When you find yourself in a job that ignores the markers of the future, that glosses over the inconvenient truths, either turn your team around or leave. There is no advancement in a blind organization that will crash and burn due to an inability to accept drastic and major societal changes. Thank you for allowing me to give you my thoughts today. Isang luntiang araw sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Lauren Legarda. We are honored that you joined us for today's event, virtually, of course. As part of that appreciation, we proudly present this plaque of appreciation, again virtually to start, to Honorable Lauren B. Legarda for taking the time to share her inspiring and invaluable knowledge and expertise as our keynote speaker during today's program launch on Your Key to Career Growth, Accelerating Professional Development, given this 30th day of September 2021, Cisco Las Piñas City, by our President, Melba M. Diamante. Thank you again, Honorable Lauren Legarda. All right, now it is time for us to move on to our Q&A session. So for those of you who have been taking notes, who have some percolating questions in your mind and are just waiting for the chance, now is your opportunity to go ahead and ask those questions. We will open up the chat box so that everyone can add their questions in, and we will address as many as we can in the few minutes still remaining to us. Our first question comes from Robert J. Lopez from DevEd Manila, and he's asking about applying as a teacher in the United Kingdom, noting that the institutions require that he have a postgraduate certificate in education, or a PGCE, to hold a qualified teacher status. Regarding the Accelerate program, does it also cover obtaining a PGCE, or a postgraduate certificate in education? The answer is no. Our particular programs are for the extended diploma in management and leadership and the UK MBA. Those are the postgraduate programs that CISFU offers. And again, those are business programs specifically. So you're looking for a program in education, which is not an area that CISFU covers. We are a business school. So I'm sorry that we aren't quite the right answer to your query, but I wish you the best of luck in finding a school that can accommodate your needs. And you also asked, do I need to finish it? Do I need to go to the United Kingdom to finish it? No, you should be able to find a school offering a postgraduate certificate in education online. You should be able to find that online. I would recommend, in fact, looking at our partner, De Montfort University, or looking at our partner, Buckinghamshire New University. Both of them offer programs in education. You might be able to find a good fit there. But again, you shouldn't necessarily have to go to the UK in order to complete that. They should have online programs available. I hope that answered your question. All right, it looks like we don't have any further questions. If anyone does have any additional questions and they just haven't had time to finish typing it out, you can absolutely feel free to email us and we will get back to you and answer them as quickly as we can. Now, our contact information will be displayed on the next slide. Before we get to that, because the music's a little bit jarring there, I would just like to mention to everyone who is still here with us today, we do have a special offer that is available to those who have participated in today's program. It's open to the first 100 people who apply for the Southville Accelerate program for a postgraduate program. So if you're applying for a postgraduate program through Southville Accelerate program, whether you're trying for the UK MBA or for the continuing professional development programs as part of that, you will get $100 US off your first course as a part of that UK MBA program. $100 off your first course in the UK MBA program. The first 100 people who apply for that and submit their requirements will automatically qualify for that discount. So take advantage while you can. Again, you can reach us by the contact details available on the next slide via email or, of course, at our website, which is cisfu.edu.ph. I'm Daniel Steele. Thank you very much for joining us for today. And if you could, we would very much appreciate if you could share your feedback with us on today's webinar, what your thoughts and feelings are about it, and what your thoughts are about the new programs we're offering by completing the link that we've now shared in the chat box. It'll take you to a very brief feedback form, and we would love to get your feedback. So if you could take the time, we'd very much appreciate it. It'll help us in devising new future programs that will be of even more interest to each and every one of you. Thank you again to our guest speakers, Dr. Melda M. Diamante for her welcome remarks, Mr. Roger Bartholomew for sharing these brand new programs available at CISFU, for Mr. Andre Stanislaw on the value of lifelong learning, and to Deputy Speaker Lauren Lagarda on the importance of continuing professional development in the 21st century amidst these global calamities. Thank you everyone for joining today, and we hope to see you at our next learning session. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thanks, Daniel.
What time is it there,
Happy
Daniel?
early morning, Daniel. Is it early morning?
What time is it there?